has a stage 1 remap really made a difference? Because they can say anything, right? These tuners can say, oh yeah, I'll add on 30 more horsepower. Might not even do that, I might do 10. You don't know, do you? Unless you dyno it, you really don't know. I've had a lot of remaps in the past. I think I've had about six or seven, but I've never dynoed it. I've just took their word for it. I mean, a lot of people don't like to dyno it, do they? Because they don't want that in their head of what it actually is, because you like to just go with their figures and pretend that your stock car is brand spanking new and to do with the way that it came out the factory. It will obviously lose its horsepower, so it won't be what it is. And people don't like to dyno it because they just want in their head, oh yeah, I've got this much horsepower, but realistically they haven't. So I'm gonna do a dyno, but I wanted to do a dyno from stock because I wanted to see if it is actually 434 brake horsepower, thereabouts. Obviously it will probably lose a few, 4 or 5 maybe. I really don't know how much it's lost because it's done 64,000 odd miles, so it's going to lose some. Unless you maintain it, does that mean that you're always going to have that horsepower, or does it mean that you will lose some? I don't know. So I wanted to do a dyno that was stock, but they said, oh, you should wait a little while, it's too hot weather at the moment, and I didn't really want to wait around to get my X-pipe done, so I just sort of like just left it, and which I wish I didn't now. So I haven't really gained much anyway. I've only added on an aftermarket filter which allegedly adds on 5 horsepower, and an X-pipe which allegedly, again, anywhere from 1 to 5 horsepower. So I could just like take off 5 to 10 horsepower from the dyno basically, but I wanted to leave like the sport cats because that's like the biggest gains allegedly as well, and we're not sure. So I asked tuners about this. So a stage 2 remap, apparently it's all nonsense. It's not really even called that. I know like a lot of people say you've got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Some say like stage 2 plus as well, so it's like slightly better than just stage 2. I don't know, it's just apparently that there's not really a name for it. Like it's just remap because you're adding things on and then you're remapping it. It's not classed as stage 1, 2, 3, etc. But I still say like stage 1, stage 2 because it just sounds cool anyway, and you sort of know where you are. So I did ask them, would a stage 2 benefit this car? And they said no. They said like for like stock, yes, but then the tuner that I'm going with to do the dyno, they're the first ones that said that I would only get 5 to 10 horsepower on a stage 1 remap, and I found out from others that it was actually 26 brake horsepower, so I'm not sure what's true and what's not. And they said if I do this one, like stage 2 we called it, because they said that that's just a name, they don't refer to it as that. They said that I might add on like 1 horsepower. I was like, really? I thought like stage 2 you add on like 10 to 15 on the naturally aspirated engine. Obviously not. So I thought when you add mods, you've got to remap it. So like to tell the vehicle that you've done this to it, and then it adds a little bit more on. That's what I thought originally. But apparently it's just that you're adding horsepower on as you're doing the mods, and you might need to do a stage 2 remap due to like the sport cats or like the downpipes, like you decat it to tell like the car that it's got more airflow and there's nothing wrong with it, because obviously it can like throw a warning sign, especially Maserati. I mean, if you did like decat on there, it would probably go fucking ballistic and light up with loads of lights, and then it'd be like Christmas again. But yeah, so I was a bit wary about doing it, but apparently 200 cell sport cats, you don't really need to remap it because it won't throw any like warning lights on the car, because it's only small cell cats. They're like basically like MOT passable, where if I did like a decat and then it would have some sort of warning light on because it wouldn't know what's going on. And they said that I could do like an O2 map or something rather than like a stage 2 remap, so I'm not actually 100% sure. I was also going to do the gearbox tune. They said they can't do it on Maseratis, but they said that they can't officially, but they've got like this ECU like flash map thing that you put in, and then like you can do it that way, but it does make the shifts like 40% quicker allegedly, and it sort of like knows how you drive, so it sort of like shifts how you shift. I'm not sure how that works, but it's like £800 to get this bloody thing. It's not even worth it to make the shifts slightly quicker. I mean, they're good enough anyway. I'm not paying £800 for a bloody ECU thing. They might not even work anyway. They might just be a fucking just all in your head. Just like remap sometimes, you think, oh, I'm going to get an extra 50 horsepower, and it's just all in your head. And you think it's faster, but it's actually not. That's why it's best to dyno it after you remap it, or before you remap it and see if you do get the gains. That'd be the best way to do it. Stop and then remap and then see if you did actually get the gains. If not, get your fucking money back. So yeah, I did wish that I did the stock remap, but I sort of know what it's meant to be, so it doesn't really matter about that. I mean, everyone says it's like 434 or around like that sort of mark, so I can sort of just say it is. It's mainly to do, I wanted to do the remap before the Sport Cats, that was the main one. Sport Cats allegedly add on 18 horsepower. The person I do the exhaust with, like the custom exhausts, and the one I'm going to again for the Sport Cats, he said that you're going to get about 5 horsepower, 10 if you're lucky. Apparently on the website, you can get like 18, some say 20 odds, some say like 30 odd. I'm like, really? What, from Sport Cats? I'm not sure. So I thought you needed to basically get the Sport Cats put on, and then you have to remap it to like gain more, like 10 or 15 more horsepower. But I spoke to 5 tuners and they all said the same thing, that you don't have to remap it, not on Sport Cats. And you wouldn't gain anything anyway. You're just gaining what it is, so you're gonna put on Sport Cats and you gain the horsepower there and then. You don't have to remap it to gain more horsepower. So it's basically just pointless in doing a stage 2 remap. There's no such thing really, unless it's a turbo car, and then it's different because you've got to like upgrade the intercooler and stuff like that, and then you would gain a bit more. But with naturally aspirated engines, there's really no such thing as a stage 2, because you don't gain anything. You're just gaining it from the bolt-ons that you're putting on or the custom work you're doing. It's only D-Cats that you've got to remap, and it's not even a remap anyway. It's just that you're getting rid of the warning light that's coming on because there's something going on with the O2s or like the sensors, or like it's just too much air flowing in it, the car doesn't know what's going on. That's why you have to do a tune to like smooth it out, they said. It's not a stage 2, which is a shame, because I thought that there was a stage 2 remap on the naturally aspirated engine. It just would have been nice to have done a content on getting a stage 2 tune, you know, but obviously not, so it's sort of like put a bit of a downer on it. I did get some advice though. So they said it's best to do a dyno first before you do the Sport Cats, and then put the Sport Cats on, and then do another dyno, not just to see how much like the horsepower's gone up, it's just to see like if it needs to be like smoothed out, like from another tune. So it's not really adding on horsepower. You might add on like an extra 1 or 2 horsepower from the next tune, but it's just to smooth things out. So I'm going to do a dyno, which would be good for content anyway. It would be to show, is a stage 1 worth it? Has it added on what they said it will add on, 26 more brake horsepower? As I haven't done the Sport Cats yet, so technically it will be just what the gains are from a stage 1 remap. And I've only put on the air filter, which adds on about 5 allegedly, and I've done the X-pipe, which adds on about 1 or 2. So I could just take off like 7 horsepower and say, well, did I get an extra 26 brake horsepower? And then I'm going to do the Sport Cats. Oh god, sorry, a kid's run out into the road is like free. So I have to quickly think, oh. That's why sometimes I don't like doing videos while I'm driving, because you really have to pay attention. So yeah, so I'm going to do the Sport Cats afterwards, and then I'm going to do another dyno. Not just to see if it needs to be smoothed out, that's just the advice I've got, it's just good for content. 200 cell Sport Cats really add on as much as what they say it adds on, if not, and then they're all fucking liars, isn't they? And then you know it for the future. Is it just for the sound, or is it for gains? Because everyone says the Sport Cats you get the most gains, and a lot of them say you get over 20 horsepower. So I find that hard to believe. So I'm going to do this to prove to you guys, do Sport Cats really add on as much as what everyone says? If it does, brilliant. If not, and then you'll know for the future that It's not about the gains, it's just about making it sound better and making it pop better and making it louder and raspier. And then is it worth getting sport cats for your Maserati? Because they're not cheap. I mean, they're over like £1,000 if you do a custom job, and then if you look online, some of them are £3-4 for your Maserati. So you think, is it worth the sound difference? Is it worth that extra horsepower? If I do a dyno and you get like an extra 20 odd horsepower, then brilliant. Yes, it will be worth it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the dyno next, which is all booked in. It's only £199, which ain't too bad. And then I'll see how much it's gained from a stage 1. And then I'll do a video on my sport cats, which is booked in for like 2.5 weeks. I've got to wait because they're all fully booked up. I thought I'd be able to get it done sooner because I'm off for 2 weeks now. But when they're actually going to do it is literally the day after I go back, like to work. But lucky enough, I'll go back on the Monday, do 1 day, then I've got 2 days off, so I can do it. But it's going to take all day, so I've got to drop it off and then go home. I wanted to like hang around and then like sort of film underneath it and do a proper video, but I don't think I'll be wanting to hang around for like 8 hours just sitting there looking at a blank wall, because their waiting room is very tiny. It's just literally 2 seats and you're just looking at a wall for like, oh, I don't do that for 8 hours. And then I'll do another dyno. It won't be what's the gains after a stage 2 remap, because like I said, I don't really class it as a remap, plus I won't be getting it remapped anyway. I'll be just seeing what the horsepower is added on from the sport cats and then see if it needs a remap to smooth it out, and then we'll go from there. And then you guys will be able to think for yourselves, okay, is a stage 2 remap really worth it for like an extra 1 or 2 brake horsepower? Because that's basically what they're saying you're going to get. I mean, I might do another remap if I've said to them that I've done the back box, which again they said you wouldn't need to remap because that adds on like 1 or 2 more horsepower. But if I did the exhaust manifold, like long tube headers, so like racing headers, which apparently again adds on 20 to 50 horsepower allegedly, I could do another video on how much do the racing headers really add. Does it add on 50 horsepower? And then we'll go from there. And then they might say, oh, because you've done this and you've added on a lot more horsepower, there's a lot more airflow going through it, you need a remap. And then I could technically say I've got a stage 2 remap, because that's when you've done pretty much everything apart from the supercharger, which is about 35,000 euros or something if you go to Tech. Apparently they don't actually make them no more or something, they were saying. They've because obviously because where they were so expensive, people aren't really buying them, so they just stopped making them. So they are available still, because they've probably made quite a few, but I'm not sure how many that they've made, but I would have thought that they would have made hundreds, because they're like 35 grand, and there's no way that they would have thought to themselves that, oh yeah, everyone's going to buy these if they've got a Maserati. That's not really going to happen, is it? I only know like a few people that are on YouTube that actually have this supercharger, and they've made it get to like 640 horsepower. I wouldn't spend 35 grand on a supercharger. I mean, would you? I don't think so. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's just a little insight to what I'm going to be doing. Tuesday, in a few days time, we're going to be doing the dyno runs. I'm going to be filming that. This will be the first dyno run I've done on the Maserati. It'll be the first dyno run I've done ever on any car, so this will be my first ever dyno experience. It'll be nice just to see if the exhaust sounds as nice as it does on the inside, because obviously it's a bit toned down in the cabin. Outside obviously it's going to be a lot louder, but I've heard people rev it once I've done the X-Pipe. It's not really the same. If they're on a dyno, they can just put their foot down, and I might even get some pops on that and just see what it really sounds like. That'd be quite nice. And then just to see if the stage 1 was worth it. Did it gain 26 more brake horsepower, or did it gain like 5? And does it mean that, was it worth the money, or was it a waste of money? Are these tuners making up figures in their heads to tell you, so you pay them and they don't add on anything? I don't know. This is why we're going to do the dyno, to see, does stage 1 really make a difference on the Maserati GranTurismo S? So find out on the next video, and stay tuned.